creating innovative organization. How do we create innovative organization? This remains myself. You can check me in my website. This is my website, MikeInyezospeaks.net. And from there, this site can link you to many other places like different social media. MikeInyezospeaks.net. You can see the spelling on board, and then in case of reaching me, the telephone number is 08062328080 for any question on how or where you do not understand. And any question on what you do not understand or anything you need more clarifications. The objective of this subject now is to bring participants to the knowledge and the skills of building an innovative organization. Number two, to bring the minds and the hearts of participants to participate in innovations in their organization. Number three, to invite them to the world and college of innovation. Innovation is a great word that many people are on innovation. There is a car now that doesn't have driver. These are innovations. And they are working on plane without a pilot. There are many things that AI has taken over. These are innovations. There are many things that the processes of doing them have changed. These are innovations. There are different ways of distributing. There are restaurants now that distribute using Skype to people. These are innovations. So innovations is a very endless word that we supposed to always be at the. That is why I say it is entirely a leadership issue. It's entirely a leadership issue. Until the leader is the prime mover, until the leader is an apostle in it may not fly. Are you getting it? The leader is supposed to be carried along and made to be an apostle in it for it to fly. An innovative organization means this. It is that organization that engages everyone throughout the organization in the task of developing and implementing new ways to reach the organization's goal. Please don't forget. An innovative organization, I repeat, is the organization that engages everyone in it throughout that organization in the task of developing and implementing new ways to reach the organization's goal. And everyone indeed include everyone from the chief executive in that organization to the frontline workers. And the frontline workers are people in the units or in the department, people that are the end user points of receiving. Now let me define certain terms. One is frontline workers. I have just said now that it is those at the end receiving point in the organization. They could be customer, they could be patient. If it is hospital, they can be student. If it is school, they can be users. If it is any form of user, they can be colleagues, employee, whatever in any organization. These people are called frontline workers. It could be, let me define public service, because I'm going to use the word public service extensively in this particular presentation. Now, public service means any institution or any organization set up to render services to the public. Every school is a public service if it is built or owned by government. So you are working in a public service because that school is set up to render public interest, to serve the public, to provide what public asks for. Public asks for that school and public got it. I get it. So it's a public service. The third thing I'm going to explain the meaning is government agency. Government agency is anybody or agency that work or render services for government. They represent government interests. They represent government. They are in fact government themselves. They are like an arm of government. Any government agency is like an arm of the executive government. For instance, NCC, Nigerian Communication Commission, is a government agency that operates anything that has to do with spectrum and communication. Just like BON, Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria, is government agency that regulates and control anything about broadcast in Nigeria. Now, their school also is a government agency in another way. If we now consider tertiary education, in which it is a member through MPTE, are you getting it? Now you say this MPTE is now government agency for regulating your school. While your school is a public service, a parastatal, another word that is used for it. You remember? Okay. Now I define leaders. Now leaders are people that make organizational goal to be achieved through the use of organizational members. Willingly, they are people that accomplish the achieving organizational goal using organizational members. Leaders are people, but leadership is a system, a philosophy, a concept. Are you getting it? The leaders can work on leadership, but leadership is more or less not animate, but leaders are people. Okay. Now, leadership also can mean a body of people. So it can also be people, it can also be, just like when we talk about management stands for three things. One is a body of knowledge people study. That is what the people call management science. When we also talk of management, we refer to people as a high cadre of organization. Then when we talk about management also, we refer to a status. It's a management staff. We have heard of that word. So, now condition. Also, a condition means something that must be fulfilled, something that must be achieved for another thing. The hint is what we call, is like a clue that you are going to receive. So these things, items, I'm going to be using them in this presentation throughout in an extensive way. Now, getting the chief executive of any organization, like your rector, to be innovative may not be too difficult. Now listen, this is a very important statement. Why? Oftentimes, before people get to that point, they might have done one or two things that makes them creative or innovative that have made them to be promoted up to that point. So getting them to be innovative may not be as tough as to compare to getting people at the lower cadre. Why? For somebody to be at the top might have done certain things that might have been creative or innovative that have made them to ascend to that point. After all, the chief executive was not repeatedly promoted to more and more sophisticated responsibility without a few creative ideas. Definitely, he wouldn't have been promoted without something creative he had ever achieved in his life. We expect that the chief executive of a business division or government agency will be innovative, but it is not always so. Some people have a way they get what they want without going through the process. Now I say here, regardless of how difficult it is to get the chief executive to be innovative, it is slightly more difficult to get those below him. It is even more difficult to get those below those who are below the chief executive. It is even more difficult to get those who are at the front line to be innovative. Do you think you understand this sentence? So the lower it is, the more it is difficult to get the people to be more innovative than the people at the top. If you get into your organization now, it is more difficult to get the messengers to be innovative than to get the rector to be innovative. True of us. The messenger, you have to talk and talk. He is alienated to the system. What he knows is, give me my money. his thinking faculty is not interested in what to do than that thing that he has been assigned to do. So there is a lot of problem there. So more problem comes from the top and lower in this case as it goes on. Okay. Now this raises two questions. In fact, it raises more than two questions, but it raises a question is this: is it possible to create an innovative? If we have said that this thing is difficult here, difficult here, difficult here, difficult here, it raises a question: is it possible to create an innovative organization? Number two, is it possible to persuade every individual in an organization that an important part of his own job is to be innovative? It is not in your job description, but do you know that it is? It is unspoken part of your job description, JD, to be innovative on how work should be done, to develop and implement new ways of achieving the organization's goals. So now I can tell you that it is yes, but it is really existing, but it is a lot of work. Now, if innovative organization exists, if we assume there are some benefits that accrue from such organization, there are other important questions can be raised here. Because it can exist, we can now ask this question: how can leaders of public agency like your own make it innovative? You didn't cite it there. Giving you the opportunity, you wouldn't have done that. Even giving a good research attention to that, researcher wouldn't have started there. Giving good ideas, good ideation, people wouldn't have cited there. But it has come to be. Millions of naira, hundreds of millions have been invested there. It has become a reality. It can be closed, true or false. Now, how do you make it innovative? Become the question. How do you make it to be competitive? Remember the essence of innovation: to be able to stay competitive. Remember the essence? Okay. When we are doing the concept of innovation, we treated the essence and requirement of innovation. We said one of the essence of innovation is to be competitive. So how do you make your institution competitive? How do the leaders in your organization make the organization competitive, so that people will come there, so that it will be choicest place for people to look for job? People will like to come there. Oh, this place is good to work. Students will come there. This is a place to study. That is what competitiveness is all about. Other people will begin to mimic you. How will we grow like your own place? That is what competitiveness means. Now, number two question is: how can these leaders get everyone in the agency to pursue innovative ways? How can they do it? Because if they cannot know how to do it, they will not achieve it. The third question is: how can they get middle staff, frontline supervisors, frontline workers, all to be innovative? That is, how can they get every person individually to be there? Because getting the middle managers, getting the frontline supervisors and frontline workers means now everybody in their own categorization. Now, this question now: how can they get the middle managers or middle manpower or and frontline supervisors and frontline workers all to be innovative? This question may be the most important. Why? I'm going to give you 4 reasons. The reason is that most organizations have more frontline workers than they have middle and the frontline supervisor. True or false? Now, people at the lower level, remember that is what we call pyramid. More people are down, more than people following them, and very few people are on the top. That is my suggestion, my reason one. Most organizations have frontline workers than they have middle managers and frontline supervisors. Number 2 point, frontline workers know most about the actual production of organizational services. True or false? Those people at the lowest level know much more what organization is doing and challenges organization are going more than people at the top. Okay. Number 3, frontline workers have direct contact with many of the agency's clients and their stakeholders more than people at the top. I don't think that your rector knows so much about he doesn't know as much as those at the grant know. A lecturer knows more students of the school more than any lecturer knows. Are you aware? Because lecturers go to class and see students.
See them
daily. In VC or rector doesn't go to class. He might be seeing crowd of people. He knows these are my students, but he don't really know them. But lecturer can stand up and give you 100 names of students from his head. He knows them. So he know more about this thing. He also have a more direct daily contact with the agency's client and this thing. So they are well positioned to figure out how the agency should respond to this key part of its environment. Number 4, if a leadership team has some idea that do inspire the frontline workers to be innovative, they may be able to figure out how to get everybody else in the organization to be innovative as well. And this is where I'm coming in now. If the leadership team can know what to do and they can figure out how they can get everybody else in the organization to be innovative as well. So because of this, I'm going to give you what I call 10 hints. You know, I define hints. 10 hints, 10 clues for getting frontline workers to be innovative. I'm concentrating on frontline workers. I'm concentrating on you remember my pyramid? Those toughest people. Those toughest people to get. Remember, I made the case for the man in the top. I said people serve. By the time he's getting to the top, he must have been innovative somehow, somewhere that have made him to be. He mustn't have been promoted step, all without him trying to do something to deserve it. Are you getting it? He mustn't have been from messenger to rector without passing through ladder. Okay. Now, so I'm going to give you 10 hints for getting frontline workers to be innovative. And this can be applied with little adaptation throughout the rest of the organization member. What I'm saying now for frontline workers can be applied to rest of organizational members with little adaptation, adjustments. Okay. Now, helping frontline workers become innovative. I'm going to give 2 conditions. From these 2 conditions, I start flying. Condition 1 is that frontline workers know that leadership is on their side. Outside of this, there is no show. The condition 1 before our discussion is that frontline workers, I didn't say the leaders, frontline workers know that the leadership is on their side. Without this, no show. Then I give a point. To be effective as innovators, frontline workers must understand what the organization is trying to accomplish. They must be able to know what is the organization trying to accomplish. Why is it trying to accomplish that? And how might it achieve that goal? Without this knowledge, the frontline workers is handicapped. Now, next to this condition, let me explain this quote. Broader perspective help to stimulate innovation. Where people are doing a very tiny thing, tiny aspect of the work, their innovation will be restricted. Broader viewpoint, broader perspective increases chances of innovation. And I said here, broader perspective helps stimulate innovations. Innovations is more likely when jobs are defined broadly rather than narrowly. When people have a range of skills to use and tasks to perform to give them a view of the whole organization, and when the assignment focus is on result to be achieved rather than rules or procedures to be followed. Condition number 2. Frontline workers understand the big picture, the vision. If the frontline workers do not know where the organization is headed to, it will also not work. They understand where the organization is facing, not only facing, heading towards to. So it is somebody's duty to let the organization, frontline workers, to know where we are going. And oftentimes, our leaders are not doing it. Are you getting it? Oftentimes, our DGs of the organization, our rectors, our VCs are not always communicating who we are, what we want to be, where we are going. We are an institution that want to produce this level of manpower, that want to achieve this goal, that want to aim at this, that want to be able to. Okay, before frontline workers are going to become innovative, they must believe that the organization's leadership supports them, and they have to understand the people. So, hint number 1 say, be immediately responsive to requests for improved working condition. Now, what are working conditions? These are 2 gadgets enablers, and this is where it begins. Until the frontline people are comfortable with improved working conditions, including what they are to use in the office, it may not be a good starting point, and I give these explanations in these pages. Hint number 2, the frontline workers must be made to know that their mistakes are supported, which means they can make mistakes. Otherwise, they will end up becoming a bureaucrat. That is, people who push paper, fearing making mistakes so that they don't lose their job. But if they are encouraged to think and to take a decision that even if you make a mistake, you are not going to have any problem, they will now begin to think. And I said this is how we do it. Innovative organization make mistakes, lot of mistakes, and have the innovation organization treat this mistake and those who make them send important signal throughout the organization. Remember, if they are punished for the mistake, they will now retract and relearn the basic lesson of bureaucratic life. And what does the basic lesson of bureaucratic life say? It does not pay to experiment with new ideas. That's what bureaucratic life is all about. It does not pay to experiment with new ideas. Let us stay as we are and collect the salary. Hint number 3, create an explicit mission. Now, this explicit mission and related performance measure can help the organization to really further in their quest for becoming IO, that is innovative organization. There must be a creation of mission. Innovative organization, yes. The mission is why an organization exists. So the organization must explain why it exists, the services, the business it is into it, the assignment is into it. We call it mission statement. Your own organization is in there to offer capacity development for middle level people of Nigeria. So it should be well stated out and and then there should also be performance goal, that if we can achieve this, it means we are working well. If we cannot achieve this, it means we are not doing well. For instance, you can use student enrollment as a performance measure. If we are able to achieve 20,000 student enrollment, it means that we are considered a choice school in Bayelsa and in Nigeria. If we cannot achieve this number, it means we are not considered to be a choice school. Maybe you can use 10,000, maybe you can use 5, depending on your own vision. Your vision is about what you can be able to see that you have not seen. That is what we call vision. Vision is where you want to be that you have not been. Vision is what you want to see that you have not yet seen. If you have seen it or been, that is no longer a vision. Are you getting it? So the vision prepares you for your mission. The vision prepares you for your mission. The vision is the aspiration that creates an aspiration. The aspiration that creates the aspiration. What you are aspiring that creates your daily aspiration.
There's a vision to mission.
Yes. Now, hint 4. Broaden job category. Don't let each individual to do only one narrow task. Don't let any individual do one narrow task. It will make him not to see any reason of what he's doing. And I explained it there. Hint 5. Move people around. Don't let workers think that they need learn only one job for life. Like now you are in admin. It may be necessary another time they move you to another area of work. It is not good for you to be in that place 2 years or more.
Okay.
Are you getting it? Because the more you stay there longer or more than necessary, you begin to have a narrow viewpoint. In that case, you cannot be innovative, you cannot think of greater than that you yet the organization.
What you said just now. I was in President and third from the unit.
Okay.
I was moved from pension to third unit.
Okay.
I moved from academic planning to pension, from pension to third form.
Okay.
So those are the things you have to want me to.
That is the reason. That is the reason. That is the reason. Move people around, or don't let the workers think they need to.
And you are not supposed to stay in one department more than 2 or 3 years.
You are not.
Most of them.
Those that their situation look a bit different in this case now is academic staff. But then, no academic staff teach one subject 2 semesters. They keep, if the one you teach first semester, another set is coming second semester. The next time you teach it is another time. Sometimes 2, 3 years they reshuffle. They reshuffle courses. Some people they do 2 years, they reshuffle courses. Courses you teach, another person teach, another they reshuffle it. So the essence is to keep to that management principle, move people around. Don't let workers think they need only to learn one thing. And that is why at a very long run of working, you have become a general manager. Whether they call you general manager or they don't call you, you have become it. Because you have
ideas for every.
Yes. The concept of general manager is a manager who have gone right. Did you get it? The original concept of that word GM is a manager who have headed human resources, headed admin, headed finance, headed production, headed works, headed everything. They say this is a general manager. He has almost moved around. Yes, that's, you are getting it. Then hint 6. Hint 6 is reward teams. Please don't reward individuals, reward teams, or find ways to beat former performance appraisal and promotion system. Now, there is something we normally do that is wrong. Team do a lot of work. You go and reward only one person. It is wrong. If you want to achieve something that will be sustainable, reward teams.
Not individual.
Not individual. When you reward individuals and leave the team, that the person, you create team problem. You create
that's differences in the department.
Yes, you create animosity. You create breaking of ranks. That is what Bible calls breaking of ranks. I guess you make people not to stay in their own rank. You now begin to make it to look as if one rank is better. There was a time I know organization that had problem one time. Yeah, it is a football club and their people were having problem. They were going down and they invited me to talk to them. So one of the things I discovered is that they were rewarding individuals and they were not rewarding enough of team. How do I know that? Somebody can tell me that when a goal is scored, they pay only the scorer. They pay the scorer. But the scorer did not take the goal from goalpost to other goalposts. Did you get that logic? That scorer did not pick the ball from his own goalpost to the other person's goalpost. He was facilitated by people. And in football world now, they have a term for that thing. They call it assist. They call it assist. ASSIST. They call it assist. What is assist? Assist is a sub-team who walked through from when the point hit to the point when the goal was scored. In other words, 11 players that are there, but all of them are not going to be assist. But there might be 4 people or 3 people who at the point, who did a passing that gave the other person ball, that gave finally to the person who. So that network of 3 people or 4 people who finally played the last role in that story, they say that these are the assists. And instead of giving only the scorer, give these 3 people. In other words, you are rewarding team. You are rewarding a sub team in the team instead of rewarding individual. In that case, they don't feel offended. Because all of them know when the tension for goal hit them. So any person in that chain now become an assist. I don't know whether you are getting it. Where the person head to this person pass to this person, all those coordinations. So any person who was in that coordination that time has become the assist. If that thing finally result to goal, all of them is going to get the prize and shared among them. If it is 1 million, all of them don't get the 1 million. That's hint number 6. If you want people to be innovative, reward their team. don't reward individual. And the more so, innovation go with teams. Just like creativity go with teams. One person know the day creative like that. Organizational creativity are not done by one person. It can always be in a team. Organization innovation can never be done by one person. It can always be in a team. Successful innovations are rarely the work of an individual. See what I said here? Successful innovations are rarely the work of an individual. To convert an innovative idea into functioning innovation requires the work of many people, contributing to its implementation and adapting the initial idea to fit the operational realities and organizational environments. Hint 7.
Directional innovating cannot be done by one individual.
Yes.
But a team.
Successful innovation are rarely the work of an individual. It has always been achieved through team. Hint 7. Make hierarchy as unimportant as possible. If you want organization to be, if you want frontline workers to be innovative, destroy hierarchy. Destroy hierarchy. I am the boss. Destroy it. Or at least walk around without an entourage. What does it mean? Make everybody feel equal. Walk around without an entourage. Walk around without an entourage. Or put in another way, make the hierarchy as unimportant as possible. So with that, frontline workers begin to see ownership of the innovative ideas that we come up. Remember, innovation is implementation of generated ideas. Implementation of generated ideas. Hint 8. Break down functional units and don't let the procurement guys tell everyone no. Break down functional units. What do we call functional unit? Functional unit is that this is department of finance. This is department of that. This is this. Wow. Now, for people to be innovative, break down these departmental lines and get people mixed up. Get people mixed up. In this way, people begin to think. In government and her agency, the job of the oversight and overhead is to say no. And this thing now is more problematic in government agencies now. The problem of the oversight or overhead is always to say no. At least it is how the budget office, the procurement office, the finance office, every of these government offices, their mostly action is always to say no to any proposal. Why? It is always seen by them as a way of protecting government. People are always trying to pull a fast one, and so their job, as they think in their mind, is always trying to protect government. Unfortunately, that idea hampers development of innovations. That idea crucifies and wastes innovation. Public sector, private sector don't have that problem. Private sector don't have that problem. As a matter of fact, on the contrary, they encourage people to come up with ideas. Hint 9. Give everyone all the information needed to do the job, or don't let the overhead units hold the critical data. Now, information is power. Or put in another way, information can be power. One of the best ways that overheads and oversight units of organization obtain, keep and use their power is to audit. It is actually difficult for your rector to release some information. And also at the hierarchy point, anywhere hierarchy is, people hold information. But innovation cannot really go with a hiding of information. In fact, innovation needs information. And the system work against information by holding information. The system hold information as a means of control, because hiding information gives people control. Now, these units collect, organize, analyze, and dispense information whenever they find it difficult, inconvenient, or useful. But innovative organization require information, just as simple as that. So I am saying in this hint, give everyone all the information needed to do the job. That is my answer to this. Don't let the overhead units hold the critical data that should be needed for the work of innovation. Hint 10. Tell everyone what innovation are. The 10th hint is tell everyone that innovation are working. Tell everyone what innovations are working, or have frontline workers report their successes to their colleagues. Now, if there are innovations that are so this is where we will stop on building what we call it now, innovative organization.
Leading by innovation.
In building, what do we call it now?
Okay.
That is creating an innovative organization. So after your break, you can rest now. After your break, you do the last one.